Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining. We're just waiting for the attendees to come in. Thank you. We'll start by 10:02. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for joining. We'll be starting the webinar in a few minutes. Thank you. So throughout the session, we encourage you to drop your questions in the chat. So we'll do our best to address them thoroughly during the Q&A portion. All right, if you can see your buttons at the bottom of your Zoom, there's a Q&A and you can drop your questions from there. Thank you. All right, I believe we can start. Good morning, everyone. My name is Aiko and I'm part of the Roadmap Consulting team. Thank you for joining us for today's GSA 360 Proposal Support webinar. So again, like I said earlier, throughout the session, we encourage everyone to drop your questions in the chat and we'll do our best to answer them throughout our Q&A portion. So today's webinar will be recorded and made available on our YouTube channel and social media platforms. And as always, after the webinar, you're welcome to schedule a free consultation with our speaker. And speaking of, I'd like to briefly introduce to you today's presenter. Since 2009, our managing director, Michael Perch, has helped over 300 firms secure GSA, MAS, and other government-wide acquisition contracts through our signature GSA 360 service. So his efforts have contributed to over $1 billion in task order awards for our clients. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to welcome our speaker today, Michael Perch. Mike?
Yes, good morning, everyone. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you, Mike.
Okay, great. All right. So as Aiko said, the purpose of the presentation today is to give you enough information for those of you who are interested in getting on GSA schedule that will allow you to at least decide to spend 15 minutes with us over a Zoom call to talk about your particular requirements and to identify how we could be of assistance. And so we developed a process over the last 16 years we've been doing this that is very effective, not only to get you on schedule, because a lot of people put emphasis on getting on schedule, but that's only part of the puzzle. The other part of the puzzle is to win task orders once your GSA contract has been awarded, right? So we have that as an end goal in mind while we're designing. We call it an actual design of your GSA schedule to make it more marketable, number one, so that you're attractive to both government agencies as well as prime contractors, as well as other teaming partners. But then number two, to make sure that your margins are sufficient so that when you do get the actual task orders, profitability wise, you're going to be fine. So we have that as our end goal from the outset, and our clients will attest to the fact that we've done a good job not only in getting them on schedule, but helping them to be competitive and win task order awards, which is what everybody wants to do, is they want to grow their firm. So this is only a means to an end, getting on GSA, and then you can expand your company's services as a result. So again, our goal today is to give you enough information so that you will have a reason to give us a call, set something up with ICO, and then let's talk about your particular situation. We can then follow that up with a proposal that hopefully meets those objectives, and we can go forward from there. So I'm going to spend about 20 minutes or so going through the slides. As Aiko mentioned, pepper us with questions as we go through it, and we'll be happy to answer them all throughout. Okay. All right. So the agenda for today is to go through these 7 points. We're going to give you a little bit of a background on the company and our experience. We're going to make a business case for acquiring a GSA schedule in case you have not yet understood the importance of getting on GSA. We'll talk a little bit about that. And then point number 3, we're going to talk about a competitive analysis of all the special item numbers that translate to your NICS codes if you're not on schedule. That will give you an idea as to the amount of activity occurring within each one of those special item numbers. So you'll see things like the number of contract awards that have been made under certain special item numbers, the dollar amount of the volume that's been generated, and the number of companies that have been made, that the awards have been made to. Why is that important? It's important that you know that there's a certain amount of business that you're going to be availing yourself to once you're on schedule and you do acquire that special item number. Also under number three, we're going to give you a list of the companies that have been successful in winning contracts under that special item number. Why is that important? Well, you need to know the big guys that are doing a very good job of marketing their schedule to GSA so that you can either team with them, maybe work on some projects that they've been awarded. We can provide you with that information, that contract intelligence data, and so forth and so on. The other thing that we'll provide you with is the specific agencies that the contract awards have been made to under that special item number, because that gives you an idea as to where to market your company's services to. So that's number three is a big one, right? That's part of the design process that we talk about in terms of making certain that when your schedule is completed, that you know exactly where you need to go and who you need to talk to as far as generating business. Number four, we're going to talk about our GSA proposal process. We're going to step you through our process. Number five, we're going to talk about the investment summary of what it's going to cost on a fixed price basis, which, by the way, varies according to the level of effort associated with every single company, right? Some companies are more require more work than others in terms of the services they're putting on schedule, the number of sends, and so forth. Then we're going to summarize everything in number six, and then we're going to outline steps as far as what it would take to work with us, or initially to set up that 15-minute consultation with us. Okay, a little bit about Roadmap Consulting. As I said, we've been around since 2009. We are a federal procurement management consulting and advisory firm. We work with companies all over the country, all different types of industries, and there's not a single company or a single industry that we have not. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. We probably haven't worked with every single industry there is out there, but we work with a lot of different industries. Let's say that. Okay, so we understand exactly how the GSA program works, and taking your company's services or products or whatever it might be, solutions, and fitting it within the GSA mass system is something we're very good at. We've done over 300 companies, worked with over 300 companies over our 16-year history and getting them on schedule. We do have some highly trained folks, contract managers, in addition to myself, that can help you get onto GSA and stay on GSA through our contract administration and compliance service, which is post-award. After you're on schedule, we can help you win task orders and maintain your schedule. We are ISO 9000 certified. What that means to you is that we sweat the details so you don't have to. We take that burden off of you as far as keeping up to date with all the things happening within GSA. And there are a lot of things happening within GSA nowadays. If you guys have been listening to the news, GSA is expanding greatly. The program is changing. It's expanding. So we keep you up to date with that, so you don't have to basically, stay up and read all the different articles about what's going on. We cut through all that and make sure we extract all the things that are important to you as a GSA schedule holder. By the way, you will see pop up on the screen the polling questions that we have. The first polling question is going to be if you have a GSA schedule. So if you can answer those questions, that'd be great. Okay, it looks like a lot of you guys have already. Thank you. Okay. In addition to GSA 360, which is proposal support, we also offer SBA 360, which helps you to acquire your certifications for HubZone and 8A, as well as marketing and capture management. So if you just want to come to us and say, hey, we have our schedule, we just want to help you, we want you to help us win task orders, we could help you there. And I'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later on. We are a GSA schedule holder ourselves. We do contract directly with the federal government for executive level training, as well as management support, management contracting support. So we do business direct. And as our name implies, we provide a strategic roadmap for implementation of all of your successful business practices. We assist you in a number of different ways. We just listed some of those ways there. Bring your attention to point number 3. If you guys are doing business with DoD and you're looking to get CMMC level 2 Compliance, we can assist you. We have a strategic partner that works very well with our clients to get that level 2 certification, or I should say compliance, um, not certification, but compliance. That is going to be vital if you want to do business with the government going forward within DoD. So we can assist you there, as well as all the other things. Our objective is to become a one-stop shop so that we can grow as you grow and provide you with the services you need as you go through your different levels of growth. All right, so now we're going to talk about the GSA schedule and why there is an importance associated with getting on schedule. So the GSA schedule, for those of you who don't know, is a indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity, long-term contract issued by GSA. We refer to the GSA multiple award schedule as a gateway contract for many small businesses because for many small businesses, that is their first IDIQ, GWAC, standing for Government-Wide Acquisition Contract, they acquire. And then beyond that, there's a litany of other contract vehicles that you can avail yourself to, either agency specific or across the entire landscape of government contracting like GSA is. But it oftentimes is the easiest contract vehicle to acquire, and it leads way to other contract vehicles. Okay. The GSA mass is used extensively by GSA contracting officers. It's been around the longest. It's the most widely used of all contract vehicles. So that's a good reason why you want to be on schedule. If you were to take a look at your competition and go to GSA eLibrary, you'd probably find that some of the top companies in your industry are on schedule. So you want to, make sure and compete with them while they're on schedule, because the other thing to remember is that if you're not on schedule, you cannot compete for the actual task orders that come out under the GSA eBuy system. So you got to have a contract vehicle in order to do that. For the fiscal year ended 2024, the GSA MASS program generated over $51 billion in contract awards, which equals about 8 to 9% of the total budget of spending that was carried out by the government. So again, very strong business case to acquire a GSA schedule. It is a 20-year contract, by the way. This next slide. Yeah, so it's a 20-year contract broken into 4 parts. The initial award period is 5 years, and then you have 3 option periods beyond that GSA will award you if you're performing and if you're in compliance with the terms and conditions of the schedule. All right, up on the polling question, we have the next question, which is if you've had a GSA contract but did not receive an award. By the way, according to the records issued by GSA, over 64% of companies that get on GSA after the first 5 years get escorted off of GSA because they have not met their sales requirement of $100,000 within that first 5 years. So part of the reason why we came up with our marketing and capture management service is to address that concern, because the last thing you want to do is to get on GSA and then 5 years later get kicked off of GSA because you haven't met your sales requirement of $100,000. So MCM addresses that concern. We help companies to basically get that 100K out of the way so they can continue to operate on schedule. Okay. The number of firms on GSA, that number of 14,000 has come down drastically in the last couple of months because GSA has cracked down on those companies that are not generating $100,000. So I understand now it's down closer to 10,000 companies. And then small businesses represent a major percentage of the companies on schedule. The approval process is basically submitting a technical, administrative, and cost proposal, and usually takes about 3 to 6 months to get you through the process or to get you the contract award. Additional benefits to getting on schedule: it increases your potential for strong sales. It is a good vehicle to have, especially as we approach the end of the fiscal year, September 30th. Because contracting officers, again, are very familiar with the GSA MASS program. They like to go to that as their contracting vehicle to find companies that have already been pre-vetted in terms of their technical performance and their pricing. So they feel safe in choosing among GSA schedule holders. It is the fastest and easiest way for companies that have not done any business with the government to access the federal contract market. That's point number 1. The schedule does allow for companies to sell its products and services to agencies at negotiated prices, discounts based upon volume, delivery times, and things of that sort. And it does streamline the process of getting a contract award as opposed to going through a long, protracted RFP process. Sometimes you're able to get on schedule, especially if you're looking at, you're able to acquire task orders after you're on schedule, especially under programs like the Simplified Acquisition program, which for any requirements under $350,000, you can get the contract award within a matter of days versus, weeks and months if you're on schedule. So a good streamlined way of acquiring contracts is what the GSA MAS program does offer. All right, so now we're going to talk a little bit about GSA 360, which is our service to help you get onto schedule. It is a turnkey solution, basically for helping you to acquire your GSA schedule and marketing your services to GSA. So from start to finish, we start with implementing effective project management software tools. We start off with a kickoff meeting, which we're going to talk about a little bit later, to gather or to set you up basically with all the tools that you need in order to get us the information we need to turn your information into proposal elements that would be submitted to GSA. And these are all the bullet points associated with how we do that. Um, you're informed all the way through the process. We have weekly meetings with you. We have a process that's very, very highly thought of by our clients. Be happy to provide references to other clients we've worked with if you'd like to see those. But our program is very strong. All right, so now we're going to talk a little bit about dive into the weeds of different special item numbers on GSA that are associated again with your NICS codes, and give you a little bit of a inside information as to how much volume is being generated by each one of those SINs. So we started off with just three basic SINs, 54151S, which is the information technology professional services SIN, 5416111, which is the financial consulting, acquisition, and grants management SIN, program and project management, and then 541820, which is public relations. So one of the things we do for our clients, and we would do for you if you hired us, is to look at the activity occurring within your SIN, right? And again, your SIN relates back to your NICS code. The process that you go through in acquiring a SIN with GSA is that you do have to prove that you have past performance within that SIN by issuing what are called relevant project experiences that document that those contracts that you've been awarded in the past. Okay. Looks like we have question number 3 in our poll up. Says, are you in the midst of submitting your GSA proposal? Yeah, if you're in the midst and you need our help, we'd love to talk to you about that. Okay. Oops, made a mistake there. All right. So 54151S, professional IT service, is one of the bigger of all the SINs. So for based upon fiscal year 2024 ending September 30th of last year, 6,435 awards were made to 1,343 firms within the GSA MAS system, totaling with a total value of all contract awards of over right at $3.1 billion. So if you're looking to evaluate, is this GSA program worth it? Well, if you're a professional IT services company and you look on GSA eLibrary and you see your competition is listed as one of the GSA schedule holders, and you look a little bit further, we can help you to do that. And you see that they've gotten a number of awards that comprise the number of awards and the dollar amount, then you're missing out on that business because you're not on schedule. So good reason to consider getting on schedule. Okay. The other thing is too, if you have a targeted agency that you've already identified, and you find out that that agency is making a lot of awards through the GSA MAS program, then again, you need to basically, in order to position yourself with that agency to win contracts, you need to acquire the schedule. We also break down the actual contract awards that have been made, in this case under 54151S, to the 10 top companies, and we can expand that to 25 or 100, whatever it might be. But we stopped with the 10 top companies that have received awards under 54151S. These are the big dogs that are out there hunting for GSA contract awards or using their GSA schedule to facilitate task order awards. Why is this important to you? It's important because you can now look at these companies and say these are good, strong teaming partners that once you're on schedule and you have that particular SIN, that you could contact and maybe team with on some future opportunities. As you probably know, most of you know, these large companies are required by the government to have a subcontracting plan, which includes a component of doing business with small businesses, small minority-owned businesses, veteran-owned businesses, women-owned businesses. So good hunting, or I should say a good hit list of companies to market to so that you can actually look at getting subcontract awards from these firms. We also did a top 10 list of agencies, excuse me, under 54151S that have received awards. To no one's surprise, DoD is at the very top. We can, by the way, break that down even further, find out what agencies under DoD comprise that 800 million or so in dollars that were awarded under this particular SIN. Again, this helps you to target market your firm if you're looking to find out where all the activity is within your particular SIN, within your particular market area. We can provide you with that background data, that contract intelligence data that helps you to zero in on those agencies, and we can get even more granular in terms of looking at the program office, the contracting officer, the program manager, so that you can basically start to develop your capture plan accordingly. Okay. So, and by the way, we can do that for any SIN that is on schedule. We just want to give you that as an example. But now we're going to talk a little bit about our proposal process. Again, this is a process that we've developed over the years that has worked very well for our clients. We break the process into 5 parts where we're essentially first kicking things off with you as a client. So we'll have a kickoff meeting where we'll kind of outline to you exactly our path forward. We'll set you up on our collaborative cloud-based platform, which is called OneHub, with all the different folders set up for you to download information to. Make sure that you're comfortable as far as the process of going through all that. We'll give you a request for information letter, which lists all the information we need to get from you in order to turn your information into proposal elements that would be issued to GSA. We will huddle with you on, obviously pricing matters to make sure that your pricing is aggressive as possible. We don't want you to leave any money on the table in your negotiations with GSA. But anyway, phases 2 and 3 is where we're getting all the information from you. At the end of phase 3, you see number 8, we submit your offer. Beginning of phase 4, GSA is now evaluating your offer. And at the end of phase 4, you get the contract award. Phase 5 involves us, after contract award, getting you registered on the GSA platform, getting you registered for GSA e-buy notices that come into your mailbox on a daily basis, getting you onto the GSA price list, which lists your company as a GSA schedule holder. And then post-award, we can help you again with contract administration and compliance to keep you in good standing with GSA, as well as marketing and capture management to help you to win task order awards. As I said, we set you up on our OneHub platform, which is our cloud-based collaborative platform. Very easy to understand way of knowing how to organize the files that we need to get from you. We'll walk you through that during our kickoff meeting. Just very easy to understand, very straightforward. We sweat the details so that you don't have to. So our internal review process, we have a checklist that we go through, comprised of 112 proposal elements. I think they've grown beyond 112 recently. But the idea there is that we make certain that when your proposal does go to GSA, it will be accepted because this is kind of like our quality control system internally, right? Now we don't make you, we don't, this is an internal document, but what you will receive on a weekly basis is a summary of what we found as a result of going through that internal process. And we call this our proposal progress report. You'll get this on a weekly basis, basically giving you an update on where things are, color coded so you can get a quick glance at how things are going. Orange means we have not received any information from you. Yellow means we've gotten the information, but we need to have you adapt it or modify it in some way. And then green means we're good to go. We got everything we need, no further action needed on your part. So we go through this, and then blue is down at the bottom. Blue is the work that we need to do in terms of generating the proposal elements, right? So we'll go through this, make sure you're comfortable with it every step of the way. There's no point in time where you won't feel as though you know exactly what's going on with your proposal, and we'll keep you abreast of any contact once it's been sent off to GSA. Once we hear back from them, we let you know right away if they require any additional information or exactly what the status of the proposal is. Okay. As far as pricing, we do fixed price quotes, but it all depends upon level of effort. So you can just give us a call, and we'll, or I should say, set up a meeting with us. We'll go through your requirements. Some manufacturers have 10,000 widgets they want to put on schedule. That's one price. Then you have other companies that have, half dozen labor categories they want to put on schedule. Well, that's a different price. So it all depends upon what your requirements are to getting onto schedule. And we'll give you that quote. Our quotes are competitive. I will tell you that among all of our competitors, we're on the lower end of the scale in terms of pricing because we are small business friendly. So expect to get a good number from us as far as a fixed price quote. We do go even further in breaking up the quote into 3 parts to help you cash flow wise to afford to get on schedule. Based upon these 3 progress payments that we have here. We also provide, as I mentioned, marketing and capture management support. So if you are a schedule holder and you just want to come to us and have us assist you in winning task orders, we can do that. And the bullet points that you see there is how we help companies, everything from actually identifying the opportunities to assisting you with proposal writing and proposal management, identifying teaming partners, the whole 9 yards. And our service is very, very modular in terms of how we charge. It's all on a an hourly basis. You'll receive at the end of every month an activity report of everything we've done. We don't do anything until you tell us to do it. So there are no surprises. If you were to acquire from us our contract administration and compliance, one of our service levels, we would give you the MCM for the first 30 days at no additional cost, right? So we give you all these bullet points that you'd get to kind of give you a taste of what we can help you with at no additional cost if you were to choose to do business with us within our contract administration and compliance service levels. Okay, so just to summarize, again, we've been doing this for a long time. We're very good at it. We have a 100% success rate. We love to sit down and talk with you about your particular company. We love exploring, how we can assist you in any way we can to help you win business with the government. And so I would strongly advise you to take the next steps, set up a consultation to discuss your requirements. We would then forward an agreement for services for you to review and execute. Beyond that, we would schedule a kickoff meeting to discuss your deliverables, your timeframes, and your objectives. And then we would meet with you every week to make sure you're up to date on everything we need to get as far as sending off your proposal and negotiating your proposal and getting you the contract award. All right. Last slide. We do have some upcoming webinars. Next week, we're going to be talking about our contract administration and compliance service. So join us for that if you'd like. The following week, we're going to talk about our marketing and capture management support service. By the way, we're going to have a guest speaker at that event, former GSA contracting officer, who will share some stories about how companies have been successful in marketing their services to agencies. So it'd be a good one for you to sit in on. And then on the 10th, we're going to have our CMMC partner meet with us and talk with you guys about the current state of affairs as far as getting CMMC level 2 compliance. So there you have it. All right. So at this point, Aiko, I'll turn it back over to you for any questions you may have, or that the audience may have, not you, Aiko, but the audience.
Thank you so much, Mike. So, like what Mike said, everybody feel free to add your questions in the chat. We're actually keeping an eye on them as they come along. So, yes, feel free to place your Q&A questions for Mike. We've also added a link for your free consultation. So Julie will drop it in the Zoom chat. Feel free to click and reserve your spot on my Calendly so you get a free consultation with Mike. In addition, as well, as you can see in the Zoom chat, if you scroll up, we've shared links to our website and our social media platforms. Give us a follow and check out more information about RMC aside from the presentation today to keep you in the loop in upcoming events as well, webinars and helpful government updates as well. All right. So while we're waiting, we have a first question. Mike, for you, how do you register for other events? Thank you, Kevin, for your question. So, Wileen, our contracts administrator, she will get your email address and be able to forward you an invite for the next sets of webinars. So, just thank you for your interest. And secondly, what about SIN, Mike? SIN 54151 hacks. I've heard it's a difficult SIN to get. Is that true, Mike?
No, I wouldn't say it's difficult. In fact, I've heard comments from someone like that SIN, for those of you who don't know, is the SIN associated with cybersecurity services. And I have heard comments from several companies that have been through that process with us that well, let me back up. It is a SIN that does require additional steps in terms of acquiring it, right? So not only do you have to do the submission as far as the RPE or the relevant project experience submission, but you also have to go through a technical evaluation, kind of like a panel of folks that will talk to your management team, you as the owner and your management team, to make certain that you do have the expertise to carry out those services. I've heard from several clients that evaluation process, the technical evaluation process, is not that difficult at all. It's kind of at the very one client mentioned it was elementary stuff. It wasn't anything overwhelming. It was just I guess just to make certain that you do know what you're talking about as far as it pertains to the subject matter of cybersecurity. So I would not say it's difficult. It is long and protracted in terms of the time length to get on schedule. We have several companies now that are going through the process. The lead time for going through the technical eval, I want to say, Pam, correct me if I'm wrong, we just did this with one of our clients, 1013. Is it a couple of months, 3 months or so, something like that? Is that correct, Pam? Okay, Pam's not there. But the length of time it takes to get through the process is pretty lengthy, but the actual process for most companies who do this kind of stuff all the time is not that difficult from what I'm hearing back from them. Of course, I don't sit in on those technical evals, but I've heard they're not that difficult.
Thank you so much, Mike. And that answers your question. So we do have a company that has hack sins as well. It is, yes, challenging, but definitely still can be processed. Thank you. And thank you, Kevin, for sharing your email. By the way, our webinar information can also be found through our website. So go check out as well www.roadmapc.com. And we have also posted our registration links from there. Thank you. So now on to the next question. We have from Soumya. I heard the rules for the labor categories for the SIN have changed. Something like NICE framework. Would you assist with that?
Yes, yeah, they've changed. Nothing major from our standpoint, but yeah, we could assist you and meeting the requirement, the most recent solicitation, which is solicitation 27, that's been put out by GSA. But yeah, we were definitely on top of that, and we could assist you with that.
Thank you, Samia. There you go. And Venny, question as well. How does your PPR approach streamline collaboration between your team and clients during the proposal process, particularly in areas marked for revision or clarification?
Oh, so for yeah, our PPR or our progress report is assuming that's what you're referring to. So once we identify that there is an issue, we identify the issue up front, and then sometimes we'll issue the proposal, and let's say it goes to GSA, and GSA will sometimes issue what's called a letter of clarification back to us. So our process, to give you an idea, is that we issue what's called an exception report to the client where we identify the issue, we break it into parts, and we ask the client to address each one of those parts so that we can provide a response back to GSA, right? So yeah, it's just a process-driven type of method we go through to make sure that GSA is happy with the response that we provide back to them. Um, it's something that has worked very well for us in the past, and it's not very complex. It's just very straightforward. We tear apart whatever the clarification that's required is into parts, and we address each one of the parts, and we respond accordingly.
Thank you. Hope that answers, Vinny. Thank you. While we're waiting for additional questions, let me recap the poll questions for everyone. So the first question was, do you have a GSA MAS contract vehicle? So this presentation is also is targeted to non-GSA MAS holders, but definitely for those who have contract vehicles, which answered three, we do have we can service as well post award. We call it contract administration and compliance support. And we do have a webinar for that if you want to join us for next week, and as well the marketing capture management as well, which is happening on July 3rd. So if you want to join us and learn more about that, how we can assist you if you already have a GSA contract, then yes, we can assist you as well. And we do have 5 who said no, they don't have a GSA schedule yet, Mike. So remember, Mike, now is the best time to get a schedule because, again, in September 30, when the fiscal ends, they can grab and bid opportunities better. Am I right?
Yeah, so as anyone who's been in government contracting for any length of time knows, there's a buying frenzy that happens between July 1st and September 30th where the government is spending their budget. All the agencies are hurrying to spend their budget before September 30th. If they don't spend it, they lose it. So, it'd be ideal for you to have your schedule right now going into that buying season. We'll do our best to try to get it streamlined, expedited to get it before September 30th. It all depends upon who is assigned to and their caseload and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we have some companies that have come on board in the last 30 days that, they're hurrying us to get their schedule in place so that they would be ready to take advantage of that period of time. But it happens every year. So even if you don't get it this year, you'll be ready for next year. I do have a question. It's not one of our polling questions, but I'd love to have the response from the folks who are listening in right now. Are there any topics that we have not addressed that you would like to hear about that we can first of all address right now, but also include in our future presentations going forward? Anything that is like a burning question in your mind that we may not have talked about, that you do have a question about? We'd love to hear it. And it could be a large topic that we can do some research on and have it included in our next presentation. But just curious as to whether or not we're meeting the needs of the folks out there who we're targeting these webinars to. So any responses to that polling question that wasn't really listed as a polling question would be much appreciated. And even if you can't provide a response now, you can send us after this is over your comments as to what you'd like to hear more from us on. Maybe we can expand something we did touch on, but we didn't talk a whole lot about. I'd love to hear your comments as far as that's concerned.
I agree, Mike. Thank you. So feel free to put it in the Q&A what suggested topics that you'd like to add for us to include in the next GSA webinar as well. So second question is, before we go back to the Q&A, have you previously submitted a GSA MAS proposal but did not receive an award? And 3 said yes and 8 said no. All right, so we'd be happy to assist you if you failed in the proposal submission. So third would be, are you in the midst of submitting your GSA MAS? And 10, no. So now's the time again to do that. And 2 said yes, which we can also assist. And fourth is, what are your major concerns about the proposal? There are 5 people who answer that, and we'll definitely reach out to you through email to assist you in answering those as well. So going back in the Q&A, we'll answer it live. How do you ensure alignment, Mike, between the client and RMC during the transition from phase 2 to phase 3, especially given the volume of documentation required before e-offer submission?
Oh, the way we ensure that is by, meeting with you on a regular basis. I mean, we have, as I said, weekly meetings with our clients to make sure that we use the progress report as a basis of covering all the topics we need to cover so that we don't miss anything. And our internal checklist, as I mentioned, is our guiding light in terms of making sure that the quality of each one of the documents that we present to GSA is there. So yeah, I mean, again, we'd be happy to offer any references you'd want to talk to in terms of past clients, but we don't have any complaints as far as communication, lines of communication, making sure that we don't miss anything. Our company does abide by ISO certification guidelines, and so we're very process driven. We're very project management driven, and we've not had any issues in the past. Going from phase 2 to 3, where there is, as you point out, a lot of information that does need to flow from you to us and then from us to GSA. We make sure and do that. We do go through a very extensive process at the very end of the 3rd phase before we issue to GSA. In fact, we just had a meeting about one of our clients this morning. We get ready to push the send button to GSA, but we wanted to make sure and go back through all of the proposal elements on the GSA e-offer site to make certain that there are no problems, because the last thing we want is delays based upon, requests for information or requests for clarification from the GSA contracting officer. We also have, by the way, a former GSA contracting officer as a consultant with us. So in some cases, not all, but in some cases, we'll pass it under his nose to see if there's anything that we may have missed or that we may want to emphasize more, or to make the evaluation process on the part of GSA a little bit easier, right? So we go through all that process, all those steps to make sure that you guys are well taken care of and that you're on schedule as quick as possible.
Thank you, Mike. And yes, Ethan, this webinar is recorded, and it will be uploaded on our YouTube channel within 24 hours. So if you can take a look at our Zoom chat, check out our YouTube channel as well, and other social media platforms, as this will be shared. Thank you. And next, how to market and pitch your sale on your SIN, Mike. So any tips or any best practice?
I would say that's a long conversation. Set up a 15-minute meeting with us, and we can explore that. But the first step is to identify where your targets are. Who's buying what you're selling, and then beyond that, there's a whole capture process associated with it. But yeah, we can certainly talk extensively about that, our process, our recommendations during a 50-minute consultation. I guess the short answer is to make yourself as attractive as possible to a government buyer or a prime contractor. ISO certification is, of course, something that it does denote that you're very serious about how you deliver quality in every service offering that you give to a client or product offering. Um, any other industry certifications that you or the individual staff members of your company may have. Past performance obviously is very important. Um, having aggressive pricing, having low overhead, and all those things. I mean, they all contribute to a very strong value proposition for any company looking to do business with the government, and we can talk more extensively about that when we meet.
Thank you, Mike. And thank you okay. Thank you, Mr. Anonymous Attendee. We'll set up a call, he said. And yes, feel free to click on the Calendly link that Julie has shared in the chat for us to talk about it. Thank you. So again, upcoming webinars next week and July 3rd is posted in our website as well as in all our social media platforms. So you can register straight from there if you haven't received an invite email from us, definitely. So Julie has posted everything in chat. Mike, if you still have any questions or want deeper insight, that's the best time to meet with Mike to get a personalized support and that free consultation. So before we wrap up, are there any more questions? I'm going to take a look one more time. Thank you. And there's none, Mike. So well, that's wraps it up for today. We truly appreciate your time and engagement, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. See you in the next webinar in our, in the next week, and we'll talk about our CAC services. Take care, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.